Hi everyone, it's Stephen here from Captured. I'm going to be presenting our brand new feature today, which is all around hosting fee collections. Before I dive into how it all works, I'm going to quickly run through what it is and why we've created it. For all of you that charge your clients ongoing hosting fees for long-term properties, this is the feature for you. As I'm sure you're all aware, we can easily miss some of these invoice dates, whether it's monthly or annually. And when you're doing this at large scale, so tens, hundreds, if not thousands of properties, it's super easy to miss. Or if not, you have someone almost at a full-time position doing all the bookkeeping and accounting. And so we thought we'd introduce this feature that takes away all of that pain from the admin and brings it into this repetitive direct debit process that allows you to set and forget for all of your clients. In addition to this, with the new recent updates to the Matterport subscriptions, moving away from the classic plans, we thought it would be even more important to kind of introduce this feature now, as it's super important, if you're not already, to be charging your clients for hosting fees. All right, so let's dive in to how it all works. I can go through this step by step. And so what we can see in front of us here is the Captured dashboard, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. On the left-hand side in our menu section, you can now see a new hostings tab. This is completely disconnected from the rest of the system, and I'll explain to you why in a moment. So if we dive into here, the first thing you're going to see there is the Get Started screen. If you've used the payment system within our bookings process, it's the same setup for Stripe. So we use Stripe as our payment gateway because of its security, its privacy, and it's easy to get up, set up and running as quickly as possible. And so once you sign into Stripe or set up, if you haven't got an account, you'll land on this page here. You can see we've got a few demo properties in here ready to go. And I'll go through how this all comes together from start to finish. So let's start with creating a hosting plan. So up in this top right corner, you'll see Add New. And so I'm going to create a new test here, Fourier test, and I'm going to enter in the Matterport URL. And so copying and pasting in any Matterport URL, and it's important here to note that it is a Matterport URL. It's not a captured link. And so we're not forcing a captured URL to be used here. We appreciate there is a number of other third-party platforms that you may be using as your overlays, but we want to make sure that the baseline tour, the Matterport link, is using the hosting side of things. And so you can use this in conjunction with any other platform, which makes it super versatile across all of the platforms that you're using. The next one is selecting a client. So you can easily select one that's already been created or creating a new one. And you only need two things to set up a client. And this is, again, another reason why we're using Stripe. And so I'm going to send this one to our good friend Alex. And so entering his name and his email, just like that. And then Alex will be sent an email with all of the information to set up his account to start the payment process. In here, we are going to put in our test, so Fourier test. This payment description will be in the email and also on the invoices that are sent to the clients. And then this bottom part here is where we set up the billing. And so in a lot of cases, when you're charging a client for a scan, you usually include the first month or the first year of hosting as part of that setup fee. And so you can set that date into the future when you want the first payment to take place, and then also set your last billing date. So let's say the client wants it live for 3 months or 3 years, you can set that billing date. And so everything is automatically stopped at the end of date, or you can leave it open, which I'll do in this case. And so if you leave it open, it will be perpetually invoiced, either monthly or annually, wherever you choose, to invoice that client and direct debit the payment for you. And so today's the 12th of September. I'm going to set it up starting from today and ongoing at let's say $10 a month, so $120 a year. And so you can see down the bottom here, I can pick between monthly and annually in Australian dollars, and tax rate I'm going to leave off, but I can show you how to set this up in a moment. And so as soon as I click generate, you can see here that I've successfully set up a payment. Alex will receive an email, which he will forward on to me in a moment so I can show you, but then also it's all set up in the back end for us here. So if I go to customers, you can see that he is set up down the bottom here with the other test cases that we've created, tax rates. And so depending on where you are in the world, you can set up your different tax rates. So this could be a GST if you're in Australia, or New Zealand, or VAT if you're over in Europe or in the States. And you can set the fee, so how many percentage and whether it's included or excluded from the price that you've nominated. Pretty straightforward, and then you can include that with all of your payments. And then here is the payments that you've got existing. And so you can see how much has been set up, on what rates, and when the next payment dates will be. So it's a bit of a dashboard showing you what you've received to date. And so The invoices that you receive, this is the client invoice that was received. You can see here that it's branded as Foria just because our demo account is on Foria, but this will be your logo and your company name that your clients will receive. And so it's coming from you, obviously, not from us, with all the information that we've just discussed. Once you click on that pay link down the bottom there, you're taken to a Stripe gateway. Again, a completely secure gateway here through Stripe, where it has all the information set up, ready to go. The client will put in their credit card details and click pay the amount. This is then saved. And moving forward, they're going to be invoiced and direct debited at the dates that you've selected. And so no need for you to worry about sending invoices, putting calendar reminders, and everything else that goes along with it. It's a super simple process. It's that quick setup, which takes about a minute or two, and then you've got that whole process ready for you to go. In the future, hypothetically, if your client misses a payment, their credit card expires, or they've got no money in their account, Stripe automatically retries that payment every 3 days. And through that process, both yourself and the client are sent emails. And then you can contact your client and see where it's at. Maybe they don't want to host anymore, or maybe they've just had a simple issue with their credit card and they can get that fixed. But the whole process should be all up and running within 2 minutes. That's the way we've created it, and allowing you to get free money, essentially. And so every month or every year, you'll constantly build up that perpetual cycle of income, which will hopefully cover your Matterport fees, obviously, and then some, allowing you to continue to expand on your business. This feature will now be live in your dashboard, so looking forward to getting it up and running and hearing your feedback as soon as possible. Talk to you soon.